Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today we have another update to the wide receiver tier list. And of course, if you find these videos helpful, hitting that like button is a great way to support the channel and get this video out to more people. And of course, if you are part of the 50% of people who are not subscribed to the channel that watch the videos, let's change that right now. Head down there and hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications. And as far as our shout out of the day goes, it goes to my man Nate KD for commenting the emoji of the day on last video. And if you want a chance to be shouted out in the next one, let's comment the demon emoji. And yeah, this video is definitely necessary with the Unstoppable promo and that run that receivers went on during the Team of the Week promo. I mean, this video is long overdue. Okay, so the first card we have to talk about right now is Randy Moss. And Randy Moss, you really can't get him in the game right now. Obviously, you could still use this card on his way up. Even at 87 speed right now, 88 speed right now, he's still really good. So Randy Moss is not going to be on this tier list. But just know, as he's climbing, I mean, Randy Moss is still at 87 speed, 88 speed, a high A tier receiver with his build and his route running stats. So even though you don't have the full Randy, who's not going to be in this video on this tier list because he would easily be number one, he's way before his time. Not even going to put him on here, but I have to talk about him. Even while he's being upgraded, like I said, 87, 88 speed, 89 speed, he is easily a, mid to high A tier receiver in this game right now. So next up, we have Tyreek Hill. And when this card came out, he was probably the best wide receiver in the game. I will say that right now. 90 speed, 90 acceleration at 5'9". But there is a problem with this card. Yes, the speed and acceleration is actually still at the top tier level for a wide receiver. Tyreek Hill has a route running and separation problem. If you've used this card versus man-to-man coverage, he doesn't get open like he should, and you find yourself taking on cards with maybe 87 speed that are just sticking to him in man-to-man coverage. So against man-to-man, this card has problems. Could it be because he's super small and has shorter strides? I think it could definitely be that, to be honest with you. It could definitely be that, but I think it comes down more to the route running and him not hitting any thresholds. That definitely does hurt this card, but good acceleration, good speed. It has to be one of those two things, whether it's the height and the route running, or maybe just a combination of both of those things could be the issue with Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek Hill, I'm going to put him probably a little bit lower than where a lot of you guys thought he was going to be, but I'm going to put him at A tier in between Mike Evans and DJ Moore. And so next up, we have one of two tight ends that are going to be on the wide receiver tier list. And the first one here is going to be Vernon Davis. And obviously you could use any tight end at wide receiver. I'm just going to show you guys some more high profile ones. Obviously you could use Darren Waller, you could use George Kittle, you could use Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert. You can use whoever you want at tight end. I mean at receiver, tight end at receiver. But to me, it's, Vernon Davis is one of the more popular options at tight end because on the Niners team, they already have Kittle. So you're probably going to use Vernon Davis at wide receiver. But 88 speed, 88 acceleration with good route running. Also, he's very much like a wide receiver just at tight end because his blocking's not the best, but as a ball carrier, an 89 juke move with these route running stats and this speed and acceleration and awareness at 6'3", 244. I mean, he's one of the best pass catchers / receivers in this game right now. So without question, Vernon Davis is going to go at mid to high A tier with that, with that speed, that build, those stats. This one's obviously a no-brainer. And next up, we have Stefon Diggs. Stefon is one of my favorite wide receivers in this game right now because he is the only receiver in this game that gets 90, 90, 90. And what I mean by that is, if we take a look at all these receivers right now, take a look at, even Cooper Kupp, 91, 91, 86. DJ Moore, 92, 87. Torrey Holt, 90, 90, 89. If you are able to boost his deep route running, he would be 90, 90, 90. Even DK Metcalf, 91, 87, 92. But Stefon Diggs is 90, 90, 90 across the board. So that means he hits every threshold. No matter what route you're running, he's hitting that threshold. Short, whether you're putting him on slants or ins, or whether you're putting him on corner routes or deep post routes, Stefon Diggs can be very viable. 88 speed with 87 acceleration. Did I say viable? Viable. At 6 foot, 191, and also very good after the catch. And of course, if you guys do want to see some more in-depth breakdowns about some of these receivers, they're up on the channel. I did some gameplays on a good amount of these guys, to be honest with you, and Stefon Diggs was one of them. The next man up is Keenan Allen, and when he came out, he was, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in the game. I made a tweet about it, I made a video about him. This card, I love the way he played. 88 speed with 86 acceleration, which, okay, that's kind of a hole right there. But 91 catching, 89 catching traffic, 90 short, 88 mid, and 90 deep route running. So equivalent route running stats to Vernon Davis, but obviously he's not 6'3", 244 pounds, so he has 30 pounds on him. And my theory with wide receivers is this: height is good to have as long as it doesn't come at the sacrifice of speed and other stats. So, for example, a guy like Brian Finneran, he actually has pretty good stats, but 86 speed. If this was a previous Madden, he's probably still being used on even non-theme teams, although he's a little bit slow because of his build, because of his height at 6'5". You're probably still going to see him get some usage because height in past Maddens has just been king with how good ag catching is and things like that. So for me, I'm not willing to sacrifice height for speed and worse stats like I probably was able to do in previous Maddens, or like I was willing to do in previous Maddens. So I want to say that right now, not that it really applies to Keenan Allen's card. I just wanted to say that in this wide receiver video. At defensive back though, I'll make that sacrifice because tall DBs do matter in a lot of different scenarios, but tall receivers to me are not as important. Having like all 6'5" guys, if they're slow, they're not going to play good. And I've tested that theory plenty of times when you play that. When you go out there and play that most feared game mode and you're playing a guy with a 20 height strat card and they're still not agging you and they're still getting KOs, that's how you prove it right there. But Keenan Allen 88 speed. This card is really nice. I'm going to put him. I think him and Stephon Diggs are pretty interchangeable. If you want 3 thresholds, go Stephon Diggs. If you want that better height, go Keenan Allen. But to me, Stephon and Keenan are very, very similar cards. So Calvin Johnson is a good example of what I was just talking about. If Calvin Johnson didn't have the same speed as Keenan Allen and Stephon Diggs, it would hurt him. It would definitely hurt him. If you're wondering why DJ Moore is also kind of low on here, it's because of his deep route running. It's just too low for me. Very good short route and slot receiver, though I will say that right now. But the deep route running, at where it is on this card, it does hurt him a little bit. But Calvin Johnson's a good example. If Calvin Johnson had like 86 speed or 87 speed, because he's 6'5", it wouldn't save him. It wouldn't. But he has the same speed as the 2 receivers that we just talked about, as well as 90 mid route running and 91 deep route running, which is really, really good. 85 release is okay. 90 spec catch, 86 catching traffic, and also pretty good after the catch too. At 6'5", he obviously moves crazy with that 87 juke move. So Calvin Johnson, I'm gonna put him at the top of A tier. But just know, I like all of these receivers. I like all of these guys. Tyreek Hill gets slot apprentice. DJ Moore gets slot apprentice. Stephon Diggs gets slot apprentice. They all get slot apprentice. So if you like that ability, go for it. Also, some guys down here get it as well. Even like this area of receivers I like too. There's a lot of good value down here able to get to. But these guys at the top of A tier. Keenan Allen's a little bit overpriced, but I do like a lot of these cards right now. So next up, we have the brand new most feared Cooper Kupp, 88 speed with 90 acceleration and 88 release. And normally why Cooper Kupp cards play well is because he's just very good physically. 6'2", 208, but usually his acceleration is higher than his speed and he runs some amazing routes. So in the slot is where I would probably use this card in the short to mid-range scenarios. Deep, he's going to have some issues because he doesn't have the 90 deep route running. But after the catch, 89 juke move, 91 COD, which also does help as far as route running goes, as well as the agility too. So this card is very, very complete. But even though this card came out not much after, like a couple weeks after these two cards, Cooper Kupp is just kind of in the Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs range. If you can get any of these guys on a theme team, that's they're very, very good in there. But 6'2", he's probably closer to Keenan, but kind of these 4-ish cards, I would kind of group them all together. They're very, very similar to each other. And next up, we have Torrey Holt. And the only thing keeping Torrey Holt out of S tier is the 3 guys in S tier. They're so much better than Torrey Holt, but this card is still really good. A really, really nice card. 89 speed with 88 acceleration, 90 agility, a 90 short, and 90 mid, and 89 deep route running, which is beautiful. 90 juke move, 88 COD. This card is good and obviously does get all of the good, wide receiver abilities. Right now, there's no like must run wide receiver ability in my opinion. If you need slot apprentice, you can run it. If you have Joe Montana, it doesn't matter. But to me, there really isn't like a must have. I guess he doesn't get deep in, deep out if you want to run those abilities. But Torrey Holt to me, with his build and the route running stats and even his speed being at 89, this card is really, really nice. So Torrey Holt right to the top of A tier. And like I said, the only thing keeping Torrey Holt out of S tier is the cards in S tier. They're just better. They're just much better than Torrey Holt. I can't really justify putting them even on the same tier, especially because that tier is going to be pretty small. And our second tight end on this list is going to be Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, to me, is just insane. 6'6", 245 pounds. And this right here is an example of a card that, he could have easily, if he was 6'3" with these stats, he would still be one of the better wide receivers in this game right now. The only problem with the card is the deep routing. That's the only issue with the card, but he's 6'6", and there's literally no trade-off. 90 speed, 92 acceleration is just nutty, but that 90 short route running with his speed and his height, his strides are just crazy. With an 88 juke move, the way this card just moves is insane. So Kyle Pitts to me, easy S tier. If you can find a way to get this man on your field, whether it's at tight end traditionally or at slot receiver or at receiver. And by the way, Yeah, Kyle Pitts, he does get Slot Apprentice as well. So if you want to run that, if you want to even go match up Nightmare for 2 AP, this card is really, really good at 6'6". And this is an example of a card that is really tall, but he really has no sacrifice on his stats. Really no sacrifice at all. This card kills me whenever I play him too. Kyle Pitts cards always give me problems. So 100% Kyle Pitts, S tier. And next up, we have the unstoppable DK Metcalf. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 6'3", 235. And as far as traditional receivers go, he's the best receiver in this game. Unfortunately for him, Kyle Pitts, you could put him at receiver, and really, there's literally no punishment for doing that. There's no minus in stats, nothing like that. So this card, he's the best receiver I've used this year. He 100% is. This card is crazy, can truck, and the way he moves is crazy too with that 90 juke move. It's so crisp. And also, if you're running the ball a little bit, that 84 impact block works really, really well against these mid-game cornerbacks right now that really, a lot of them can't hold their own in the run game because, a lot of the corners that people are using right now can't hold their own in the run game because they want those good coverage stats and good speed and things like that. And even there's really not that many corners that can even hold their own out there. So DK Metcalf, the best wide receiver I've used. 100%, and it is a wide receiver tier list, so I will put DK over Pitts, but just know, I don't know, Pitts is probably better. I know Pitts is a tight end, but he's probably better. And maybe he shouldn't be in this video. I don't know. Let me know. Should I put these tight ends in this video? Let me know down in the comment section. But, yeah, I'll give DK the #1 spot because he is a traditional wideout. And finally, last but not least, we have the AKA Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ. 91 speed, 88 acceleration. This card is so much fun to use. After the catch, he goes crazy. 91 juke move. Good route running everywhere. Spec catch, even catching traffic. He made some great contested catches for me. I dropped this gameplay yesterday on the channel. But 91 speed, it's just, 2 speed faster than Torrey Holt. So this one's a no-brainer for me. Odell Beckham Jr. at number 3. At number 3, I still think Pitts and DK are both better without question. But Odell Beckham is definitely in that 3rd place. I mean, he's better than Torrey. He's better than all these 89, 88 speed receivers with 91 speed. He's technically the fastest receiver in the game, but, am I willing to trade 5 inches? Or no, it would be 7 inches on Kyle Pitts for 1 speed? Probably not. And am I willing to trade even 4 inches on DK for 1 speed? Probably not. It's 1 speed. Unless you put him on a theme team, then it's a little bit different. But, of course, I rate these teams. I rate these cards not on theme teams. But Odell Beckham, easily S tier. If he's not S tier for you, I'm not sure what you're thinking. I mean, this wide receiving core would just be disgusting. It would just be nasty. Even Torrey Holt, if you do a Rams team, maybe throw Torrey Holt up there. It could be pretty nice. So, yeah, this is the final wide receiver tier list. Our top 5 wide receivers right now in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. DK Metcalf, Kyle Pitts, Odell Beckham, Torrey Holt, and Calvin Johnson rounding out the top 5. And try to comment down below if you are new here. Even if you skip to the end of the video, hit that like button, turn on those notifications. And as always, I will see you boys in the next one.